Some Democrats are reportedly moving in favor of the Trump administration's new school choice tax credit program. Joining us now to speak about it is Corey DeAngelis, executive director at the Education Freedom Institute and senior fellow at Americans for Fair Treatment. And we have Jenny Clark, founder of Love Your School. She's also a mother of five. So thank you both for joining us this afternoon. Corey, I'd like to start with you. So you were at the White House last week for a roundtable on school choice. A popular op-ed published in USA Today is making the rounds. It's titled, Trump's School Choice Program is Even Winning Over Democrats. Corey, can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, school choice is a nonpartisan issue. Parents from all backgrounds, Republicans, Democrats, and independents support school choice. They benefit from education freedom. All families want more of a say in their kids' education. And we've seen now that 27 states have opted into President Trump's new nationwide school choice initiative. It's a federal tax credit. You can donate up to $1,700 per year or $3,400 for a household, and you'll get that money right back on your taxes the following April. It's a dollar for dollar tax credit. So it benefits donors, obviously, but it really benefits the states that opt in. That allows the kids in those states to receive the scholarships. And so one Democrat has actually crossed party lines and bucked the trend and turned against the teachers unions. That's Jared Polis of Colorado. He called the decision a no-brainer. He said he would be crazy not to opt in, and he's right, because this doesn't touch a single penny of federal, state, or local education funding for public schools. It just allows you to inject more funding through private donations towards scholarships to kids in need to get them a better education. So hopefully Jared Polis is just the first Democratic domino to fall. Hopefully all states join pretty soon.
Okay, Jenny, I want to hear from you now. What are you hearing from parents? Is there a big support from them all around?
There is massive support from parents, and that's because we're in the school choice era. Families want options for their children. Recent polling showed that 75% of American parents considered switching schools in 2025. Parents know now about these ESAs, these education savings accounts. And now, with this education freedom tax credit, parents are getting so excited that they might be able to have a choice beyond their locally zoned district school to give their kids the education that they want and the education that they deserve.
So, Corey, about this new federal school choice tax credit program, for those states that don't sign up to this, what would you say to them, Corey, that they're missing out on?
And they basically be shooting themselves in the foot. It's kind of like the 21 drinking age where every state decides 21, but that's because it's tied to federal highway funding. So I would guess that something similar is going to happen here, because if you don't opt in, you're basically guaranteeing that money's going to flow out of your state, because anybody can donate regardless of whether your governor decides to opt in. But you can only receive those scholarships in your state if your governor says, yes, I'm going to do the right thing. So Jared Polis saw this early. He saw the writing on the wall, even a Democrat. And so hopefully, look, Jenny Clark's in Arizona, and they have robust school choice programs at the state level. But this would allow families to stack those scholarships on top of any state level scholarships. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs, however, is a Democrat who's historically been against school choice, but who knows? Maybe she'll do the right thing and be on the right side of history as well.
So, Jenny, from what you said earlier, it sounds like there's a lot of excitement here among parents. And as a mom yourself of five children, why is it important specifically to empower parents to have this decision over which school is best for their children?
Well, because every child is different. Every child has unique needs. In my nonprofit, Love Your School, we have families that come to us from all political parties, right? Left, right, and center, because educational disabilities or challenges that kids have, or just parent choices, they're not determined always by your political party. Nobody says, hey, my kid's got dyslexia and I'm a Republican, or my kid has autism and I'm a Democrat. No, they just want choices. They want options. And so I see exceptional support for these types of policies, specifically this federal tax credit. among students with disabilities, the families of students with disabilities. As Corey mentioned, here in Arizona, we are expecting Governor Hobbs to opt in. She'd be foolish not to. Every single governor should opt into this program because we have a crisis in America. American school children are not reading proficiently at grade level. We saw that with the nation's report card. They're not doing math proficiently. And we need to attack that problem, that crisis, with every single solution in our toolkit. That includes the Education Freedom Tax Credit under the Trump administration.
So, Corey, you said earlier that if a state doesn't opt in, it will be essentially shooting itself in the foot. I'm wondering if there's another angle to this, because dozens of public school advocates gathered outside of Illinois Governor Pritzker's office last week, demanding that he choose not to participate in the school credit tax program. Corey, how and why do teachers' unions and public schools advocates work to block school choice? Can you break down this for us?
Yeah, look, the teachers union is basically a far left arm of the Democrat Party. 99% of their contributions from the last election cycle went to the Democrats. It's a money laundering operation. The teachers union has become a political tool as opposed to an education initiative. And so, look, the Illinois Federation of Teachers, their president, her name is Stacey Davis Gates. She called school choice racist a couple of years ago. And guess what? She sends her own kid to a private school in Chicago. So it reeks of this hypocrisy as well. School choice for me, but not for thee. We're just arguing that we should expand those opportunities to the less advantaged as well, not just union bosses who can afford to pay for private school tuition and fees out of pocket. So no one should be forced to pay twice. The money should follow the child. And look, the unions want just to have a monopoly on that funding, but they also want a monopoly on the minds of other people's children. They see the school system as a political tool, whereas everyday parents, they just want their kids to have a good education. They want math, reading, and writing. And oh, by the way, they want a school that's aligned with their values. So how about we don't force anybody into any institution, public or private? Let's give the parents a choice for a change.
Okay, Jenny, your thoughts on what Corey said?
Well, I agree with Corey, obviously, because we both have kids. We both just want what's best for our kids, what's best for American school children. And the reality is, this federal education freedom tax credit, it just makes sense. For those states that already are blessed to have a program like an education savings account, we have that here in Arizona, we will be able to stack that federal tax credit with our current program. But for all the other states that don't yet have an ESA, this is the first step for those families and those kids to finally have a choice and apply for this scholarship and be able to go to an education, to a school, and get the education that they want that does, as Corey pointed out, align with their faith, align with their values, and even their educational philosophy for their children.
So, Corey, you've been very comprehensive already. The Trump administration says school choice should be a right for every family. Can we really achieve that? How do we achieve that where literally every family, can we really get there in the U.S.?
We can get closer and closer. So we shouldn't make perfect the enemy of the good. We should take every incremental step in the right direction, even if it's not utopia. And this opt-in is a good step in the right direction. It's a huge step in the right direction. And oh, by the way, the best way to get there is to fund the student, not the system. It'll expand equality of opportunity. Like I said earlier, the most advantaged families can already afford private school tuition and fees out of pocket. And you know, the government school system in America today is so segregated by zip code. You're assigned to schools just based on where you live. So there's inequality baked into the system. So let's give everybody a leg up, give them a fighting chance. We spend $20,000 a kid in American public schools. Let's have that money go to the parents, and they'll be able to figure out better opportunities for their kids than bureaucrats sitting in offices hundreds of miles away. It won't let you afford a $50,000 a year private school, but hey, it'll get you much higher than the average, and you'll be able to have many more opportunities than you had before. So this is not just school choice for the rich; it's for everybody.
Okay, so Jenny, I started with Corey. I'll end with you. Any final thoughts you have?
Well, my final thoughts is that if you are living in a state and your governor has not yet opted in to the education freedom tax credit, don't waste any time. Pick up the phone today, call your governor's office and say, hey, I want you to opt in. My family wants this choice. We want to be able to have education freedom in our state, and we want you to opt in. Everyday parents can make a difference by calling their governor's office and asking them to opt in.
Well, all right. Really insightful comments from both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.